Thanks for joining us here on Shannons Club TV, the program for Shannons Club members and all motoring enthusiasts who are passionate about their cars and motorcycles. Motor racing historian Mark Oastler and I have been busy on the Shannons Club website, writing about cars in Australia that have stood out both on the road and in competition.
These paired histories have proven very popular with Shannons Club members, so we're now bringing you visual histories and the latest auction news here from the Shannons Clubhouse. This episode we take a look at a small car that was more than a runabout, and thanks to its extra space, performance and reliability, it changed the way Australians viewed small cars. The Datsun 1200.
Winning the hearts and minds of global small car buyers in 1970 was an even bigger battle than the fierce Falcon versus Kingswood family car war that was going on in Aussie showrooms. Toyota had produced an outstanding Toyota Corolla that had embarrassed the Datsun 1000. Arch rival Datsun was not only on a mission to catch up, but to beat its arch enemy at its own game. The new Datsun 1200 range pitched a roomier sedan and a wagon, both with four doors, against the two-door Corolla sedan. A new 1200 Coupe had a sporty look of its own, not shared with the sedan, and the Ute version that followed in 1971 was so popular that it stayed in production until 2007 in some parts of the world. Mark, why was racing at the bottom end of the market so important? These tiddlers.
Well, the market for families buying their second car was starting to grow, and of course you had the baby boomer youth market that was very much image driven. So it was another case of win on Sunday, sell on Monday, but in miniature.
Well, for the new range, Datsun developed a new 1171cc engine with a heady 69 brake horsepower or 51.5 kilowatts. Yet it was unbelievably reliable and long-lived. It also set new fuel economy benchmarks around the world. The Datsun 1200 weighed just under 700 kilograms, and that was its secret weapon. The 1200 Coupe with standard front disc brakes, radial ply tyres and superb handling balance was also quite affordable at just over $2,000. Mark, I'm not surprised that the Datsun 1200 had an exciting competition history in Australia.
Coming up, a special edition of Sharing the Passion, as Shannons auction team's Greg Hardy takes us on the road in a rare survivor Datsun 1200 wagon. We'll also get the latest auction updates in Hammer Time. The Datsun 1200 was in fact one of the most successful cars ever to compete in the annual Bathurst endurance race, even though its performances were often overlooked due to the sheer numbers of cars on the track in those days. While the media and race fans of the 60s and 70s were mostly focused on the outright war between Ford and Holden, behind them the Datsun 1200 starred in some of the most thrilling battles that were being waged in the smallest car class. The fact is, these annual Class A clashes on the mountain were generally closer and more intense than those in the outright division, fought out between official works teams and quality dealer-backed entries from Datsun, Mazda with its 1300 sedan and Toyota's Corolla. Joe, how much of an influence did the Bathurst race results between these Japanese brands have on the buying decisions of their target market?
Well, first of all, they had no choice. The Mini had been to Bathurst and won it. So if these small cars were going to be taken seriously, they had to show that they could take the rigours of Bathurst and survive it. It established them as being reliable, suitable for Australian conditions. It wasn't so much that each car people became aware of, but the whole small car from Japan was suddenly elevated to being on the shopping list. It was that simple.
Yeah, it really, really worked. The decision for Datsun to go racing was made by George Denner, the brand's Victorian distributor and a great visionary who could see that a factory-backed motorsport program could help the Japanese brand make big inroads into the Australian car market. And he was right. The Datsun 1200 sedan made a sparkling Bathurst debut in 1970 with a win in Class A, with another coming in 1972. The switch to new Group C rules in 1973 saw the sedan replaced with the swoopy two-door coupe, which scored 2 more wins in 4 years before the under 1.3 litre class was abandoned after its last Bathurst victory in 1976. So, the little car with a big heart fittingly went out a winner. Hope you're enjoying Shannons Club TV. Why not join the Shannons Club and share your passion for unique, rare and classic cars and motorbikes with other enthusiasts across the country. Keep up to date with the latest news, events and exclusive offers from Shannons.
My name's Greg Hardy. I work for Shannons Auctions in Melbourne. I'm the sales advisor here in the Melbourne auction team, and today we're here with this 1973 Datsun 1200 station wagon. This car's been with two owners from new, and it's survived in very, very good condition for its age. Fully imported from Japan in the condition it is today. We believe the top colour was put on by a dealer when it arrived in Melbourne, maybe just to snazzy it up a little bit, as the beige would have been a little plain in the time, and the top colour's an Australian colour that was used on a number of Australian delivered cars. One of the big advantages for the Datsun 1200 station wagon was as a four-door, and the room in the back was huge compared to anything else that was on the market at the time. So the car was really versatile as a mechanic's parts chaser, a family wagon, or just a general handy little car. It may not be the traditional collector car we've seen in the past, but Japanese collectors are looking for these survivor cars, and this was a prime example that we thought would sell quite well. I think the appeal to people is they remember these cars. I mean, even my father remembers this car. He had one in his mechanical shop, and he used to use it as a parts chaser, and when he saw it in the catalogue he said, "I always loved those cars. They're a great little car, they're very reliable, and they're unbreakable." So I think the appeal is that it's something that people remember, and something that people will want to remember in years to come.
Well, Chris Borrabon, Shannon's National Auctions Manager, joins us. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks, guys.
Chris, the Datsun 1200 market seems to be different from just about any other car. It seems to be run by two very strong themes. Can you tell us a bit about those?
It does, doesn't it? It is a very different thing. I think we're seeing a resurgence in the 1200 coupes being done as what the young enthusiasts today refer to as a JDM market, the Japanese domestic market.
So they make them look like they were as if they were sold in Japan. Is that the trend?
That's exactly right, yeah.
That is strange.
Yeah, but look, it's a massive following with the younger generation today, younger enthusiasts, and we're seeing the wide 13-inch wheels or 14-inch wheels on them, the mirrors mounted on the front guards. So yeah, fantastic. They look great.
And the utes are going. They're going somewhere else. Big engines. They're ending up on drag strips. There's some thing to create a street machine out of them. Is that what's happening?
We have seen many actually used, showcased at shows around Australia, and we've seen the turbo engine conversion, or some of them have even got the A14, A15 engine conversions in them. Okay. And a lot of them are being, had a lot of money spent on them and being showed all over Australia.
Chris, the Datsun 1200's got a fantastic motorsport heritage. It won a lot of races back in the production days. Do today's Datsun 1200 buyers use the car for motorsport still?
We're seeing a bit of it out there, predominantly in historic rallying. I think the 1200 sedan is such an affordable car today still that people are using it. It's an easily prepared car for rallying, and fairly cheap if anything goes wrong. So yeah, very popular.
Thanks for joining us, Chris, and keep in mind you can get all the latest Shannons auction information on the Shannons Club website. If you'd like to own a piece of photographic history of the Datsun 1200 in action at Bathurst, or indeed any Australian competition car, visit Australia's most comprehensive online motorsport photo archive at autopics.com.au.
And if you'd like to read the full story on the Datsun 1200 road and race history and lots of other classic cars, you'll find them here on the Shannons Club website.
The modern car market is dominated by small cars now, but Joe, would it be fair to say that the Datsun 1200 and cars like it, they really started something here?
They certainly did. The Datsun 1200, the Pulsar, Mazda 1300, Mazda 3, Toyota Corolla. Guess what? Toyota Corolla. I think Australians saw that they could use those cars just like a big car, and that's what they're doing today.
Yeah, they really made history, didn't they? Well, we hope you've enjoyed our blast from the past with the Datsun 1200. We look forward to your company next time on Shannons Club TV.